Hi guys, I'm Mattia and I'm here with my friends
Antonio,
Paolo, and today we will talk about
Hamlet.
Hamlet is one of Shakespeare's most successful tragedies. Shakespeare finished writing this work in 1601, and it's the longest one of his works. He wrote Hamlet in theatrical form, and every character speaks in first, second, or third person. The narrative pace is fast, because there are no descriptions between the dialogues. Shakespeare wrote in this way to make the theatrical performance easier. And now, before explaining the plot of the tragedy, we will introduce the main characters. Prince Hamlet, protagonist of the world, son of the dead King Hamlet. Ghost King Hamlet, father of the prince. King Claudio, main antagonist, brother of the Ghost King and uncle of Prince Hamlet. Gertrude, mother of Prince Hamlet, old wife of the Ghost King and new wife of Claudius. Horatio, friend of Prince Hamlet. Polonius, father of Laertes and Ophelia. Laertes, son of Polonius. Ophelia, loved by Prince Hamlet. We are located in Elsimora, the capital of Denmark, precisely inside the Kronberg Castle. It's here where a guardian, after seeing the ghost of King Hamlet, warns Horatio of this strange presence. Meanwhile, in the castle is celebrated the marriage between Gertrude and the new King Claudio, where Prince Hamlet is present, but he seems sad for the death of his father. At the end of this marriage, Horatio warns Prince Hamlet of the appearance of the ghost of King Hamlet. At this point, they wait for midnight in order to see the ghost again, who says he wants to speak only to Prince Hamlet. The ghost explained to his son that King Claudio killed him by putting poison in his ear while he was resting.
Later, the ghost tells Hamlet to avenge him and not to tell anyone about their conversation. To understand if the ghost had told him the truth, Hamlet decides to organize a theatrical performance, which plot is the same of the story the ghost had told him, in order to unmask his uncle by seeing his reaction.
to be or not to be?
A few minutes later, precisely Act 3 Scene 1, we find the most representative scenes of the tragedy, to be or not to be. There are several interpretations about this soliloquy. One of these focuses on the existential questions of living in pain, to be, or rebelling at the risk of dying, not to be. It is also often associated with the idea of suicide. Later on, Gertrude tries to understand the reason of the show, but she agreed with Polonius, who is in charge of telling the king about what Hamlet says during the conversation. But the prince confuses Polonius for the king and kills him. So the king, who realizes more and more that Hamlet has understood his crime, decided to send him to England with the aim of removing him from the castle.
After this decision, Laertes discovers that Hamlet has killed his father, so the king advises him to challenge Hamlet with a poisoned blade and to prepare an additional poisoned chalice to be sure that the prince dies. When Hamlet returns to Denmark, Ophelia, who has just discovered that Hamlet killed her father, decides to kill herself. While the gravedigger is digging the hole for the coffin, Hamlet is there, and he wonders about who the deceased was for. But then, seeing the funeral procession, he understands that the deceased is Ophelia. So Laertes, who has just seen Hamlet, decides to challenge the prince to a duel.
Got a feeling that I'm going under, but I know that I'll make it out alive if I quit calling you my lover. Move on. You watch me bleed till I can't breathe. I'm shaking, falling onto my knees. And now that I'm without your kisses, I'll be needing stitches. I'm tripping over myself. I'm aching, begging you to come out.
The following day, Hamlet is called to the king's room for the duel, where the king offers Hamlet the poisoned chalice of wine, but the prince refuses it, and Queen Gertrude drinks it instead.
Your bitter heart cold to the time. Now I'm gonna reap what I sow. I'm not seeing red on my own.
During the duel, Laertes and Hamlet exchange the poisoned blade. Both are hit with this, but before dying, Laertes reveals everything to Hamlet, who kills King Claudio with the poisoned blade and forces him to drink the last drop of the poisoned chalice. Then Hamlet dies too as a result of the poison.
I'm aching, begging you to come out. And now that I'm without your kisses, I'll be needing stitches. Needle in the thread, gotta get you out of my head. Needle in the thread, gonna wind up dead. Needle in the thread, gotta get you out of my head. Needle in the thread, gonna wind up dead. Needle in the thread, got you out of my head. Needle in the thread, gonna wind up dead. Needle in the thread, got you out of my head. You out of my head. You watch me bleed till I can't breathe. I'm shaking, falling onto my knees. You now that I'm without your kisses, I'll be needing stitches. I'm tripping over myself. I'm aching, begging you to come out. You now that I'm without your kisses, I'll be needing stitches. Oh yeah.